And welcome everyone to this episode of Real People, Real Stories, where we are interviewing people just like you and me who have had life-changing experiences with redox molecules. We are so excited to bring our special guest to you tonight. First of all, I will introduce myself. My name is Dr. Barbie Phillips, and I am coming to you from Creation Chiropractic in Fargo, Oklahoma. And our wonderful co-host tonight is Kathleen, and here in just a few minutes, we're going to let her introduce herself as well. So if you're new to redox molecules, I want to take just a moment to introduce them to you. Redox molecules can either be consumed or they can be rubbed on so that they can absorb through the skin. And their job is to detect cells that either need repaired, and they help the body get more signaling to repair the cells so you can be healthier. Or if the cells are not useful to your body or can be damaging to your body, they can even get rid of them. And they go through a process called apoptosis to get rid of them. So they're pretty really great technology behind redox molecules, and we are going to share some great information with you tonight. I am going to place a disclaimer here that anything you hear tonight is not intended to diagnose, prevent, or treat any medical condition. And the information you're going to hear from our guest is personal experience. And we're so excited to have Stacey and Teddy Cornelius tonight, and so excited of the information that they're going to share on these life-changing molecules. And Kathleen, I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce yourself and interview our wonderful guests tonight.
Thank you so much, Dr. Barbie. You know, what's wonderful about coming to you tonight on Zoom is it really doesn't matter where you are as long as you're tuning in. And I live in Mississippi, although I'm traveling right now, different location. And but we are so glad to have you here tonight to hear from two real people. You cannot get more salt of the earth, more real than Teddy and Stacey Cornelius. They do live in Mississippi. They are not only a fabulous couple, they have raised a gorgeous young lady who will be graduating from high school this year. But one thing I do want to kind of give you an opportunity to share tonight, Stacey and Teddy, is that I do want to ask you how you found out about ASEA REDOX molecules, but really what's more important to me first is tell me what redox signaling molecules has done for you personally, for your health. That's really the heart of it, of what it's done for the two of y'all.
Well, first of all, thanks for having us, Kathleen. It's so good to see you.
Great.
Well, I'm Stacey, and this is my husband, Teddy. Oh, gosh, I might tear up when I think about it. Okay, so when I was introduced to ASEA, I would, I'm in the medical field, and I guess my medical terminology would be I was a hot mess. I mean, my health was terrible. I actually had already had 3 knee surgeries, and I was actually scheduled for a knee replacement when I was introduced to this. But also with that, I hurt all over. I wasn't sleeping well because, I don't know if anybody else hurts, but when your back, shoulders, neck, hands, hips, everything hurts, you don't sleep. And actually, it had gotten to where for me to roll over in the bed, I would have to sit up, scoot around, and lay back down. And then same thing over and over and over again. So it makes for a very restless night for both of us, actually. And also, I don't have a spleen for other reasons, but that really messes up your immune system. And I was going to the doctor sometimes 2 to 3 times a month. I was always sick. Any combination of illness you could have, strep, mono, flu, pneumonia, whatever, I had it. I never had vacation time built up because I was always having to go to the doctor. So come Thanksgiving and Christmas, I'd have to take off work without pay because I never had the vacation time built up. So that's where I was when I was introduced to ASEA. Where were you, Teddy?
Well, I was bad. She didn't know. I wouldn't tell her how bad I was. I'd had a tick-borne illness that had really done a number on my my health. And I was that guy that was always up before daylight and after dark, working 6 days a week, running all day on Sunday, and basically I get 3 or 4 hours in the day, and I was just exhausted all the time. So it was a struggle. I tell people that if Stacey had knew how bad I felt and how bad I was, that she would probably have made me sell everything and come home. But thanks to ASEA, that's changed.
So that's where we were when, yeah. And that was 4 years ago.
So you started to take ASEA, then what happened?
So I started taking ASEA, and I was drinking 2 ounces in the morning, 2 ounces at night, and I was rubbing the gel on my knee the 3 times in the 5 minutes. I was doing that morning and night. And everybody's different, okay? And I think it's because I just was in tune with my body. About 2 weeks, we went to church, came home, got up in the house, and I just said to Teddy, "How did I get here?" And of course, he looked at me like, "What kind of question is that? How did you get here?" And I said, "Well, how did I get in the house?" And he said, "Well, you just walked up the steps." And I said, "I understand that, but my hands are full. So how did I get up those steps?" Because for years, I would have to go 1 step at a time, holding on to the handrail. And I just walked up the steps. So that was one big moment. And then I noticed a couple days later, I never sat up in the bed at night. I literally just rolled over. So that let me know something was changing too. I don't hurt like I did at all. And I've been to the doctor now 4 times in 4 years, compared to going 2 to 3 times a month. So that's really helped out. Like, I'm pretty consistent going to work now. I've got PTO built up at the end of the year, and I am now riding my bike like I used to love to do. You know, with the knee replacement, the doctor said, "Look, put that knee replacement off until it gets to the point where you can't do what you love to do." And it had gotten to that point. I was riding my bike and I had to stop. I was training kids on basketball and I had to stop doing that because I was icing my knee, having to take high anti-inflammatories every day. I just couldn't do those things I loved. So that's why I decided to, do the knee replacement. Well, after taking ASEA, I canceled that knee replacement and I'm back riding my bike. I'm back training the kids in basketball. And, I was talking to the kids one day and I said, "Miss Stacey's not somebody who just stands there and tells you what to do." I'm like getting down and saying, "Let's get low on defense." I could never do that before. Sorry, I talk fast, but I get excited. But where are you, Teddy?
Where am I at now?
No, whatever.
Where are you?
Where are you?
I'm right here.
Constantly working. That's where he is.
Hey, I can't get people to work as hard as I do. I'm out working 20-year-olds. It's amazing. Picking up the chainsaw, run the chainsaw all day, or it's amazing. I can do things that I couldn't do 10 years ago. It's awesome.
That chainsaw work, it gets harder and harder the older we get. So I'm super impressed, Teddy.
So yes, it has been a life changer.
2 things. One is, if you are not following Stacey on any of her social media, I highly encourage you to do that. Number one, because she does offer some really fun and creative content. She does ride her bike. She takes us on her bike rides. And I love that because you get a little of the outdoors and where she rides. And she also shares her experiences with basketball and her family. So she's on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. So if you're not following Stacey, you need to. And I will try to put in the comments later on, if you're watching this after the fact replay, so you can follow her, because she does talk about her life and you will see the changes that have been made. And you're going to get to see Teddy in action. That's what I love. And let me tell you, he's up on the roof, he's on the tractor, he's on the backhoe. It's amazing what Teddy can do. So that's the first thing I wanted to share.
The other thing is, Kathleen, is when I started ASEA, I went into this because I wanted to see if it would help me. I mean, that was it. I just told Teddy, I said, let's try. Look, what have I got to lose? Never did I think of it as where it is today. And, we do workshops and stuff, and people come to these workshops, and I just hear their testimonials, and it really hits me in the heart because, I went into healthcare to help people. That's why I do it. And to hear that maybe I had some little thing that helped these other people. Like my sister-in-law, she had breathing issues so bad that if she got excited or got upset, she would have to use an inhaler. Sometimes so bad that we'd have to take her to the hospital because she just couldn't breathe. She hasn't used an inhaler in over probably 3.5 years. My other sister-in-law, she had stomach issues and brain fog and was having to take medication for all those things. And she hasn't had to take any medication for those issues. And it's just, every time we have the workshops and just hearing those testimonials, it just gets me. But I didn't go into this. I just wanted to see if it would help me, and people saw how it was helping me. And that's how he started. He's like, hey, if this is helping my wife this much, I think I want to try it. So he tried it. And then somebody saw how we were doing.
Help me.
Yeah. So, I was thinking about it today. What if I would not have gone to my friend's house? If I wouldn't have went to my friend's house, I know where I would be. I wouldn't be doing the things I love. This guy, would not be doing what he does. My family that I love, their lives would not have been changed. It just really, I get emotional. I'm sorry, but it's just awesome.
Well, you have a special family, so I can understand why you would get a little emotional about it. So let me ask you this, Stacey. So you wanted to try it because you said, what do I have to lose? I'm so bad, I feel so bad. And once you started to see it helping, how did, you have a family there. How did they pick up? How did you get them to say, yes, I want to try that too?
Well, for instance, my sister-in-law, I would say after Teddy, because he saw how I was. The one sister-in-law, she was having some issues. She's a teacher, and she, like I said, she was having some brain fog issues, and it was during the summer. And she just called me one night and was like, "Hey, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've got to go back to school in a couple of weeks, and I just can't keep my thoughts together." And I just said, "Hey, I'm sending your brother to the house with a blue bottle. I need you to start taking it."
Mhm.
So she started taking it and started noticing changes. And then Becky, the other sister, she had an issue on her finger that was bothering her. And then the doctors were saying she's going to have surgery. And it was kind of early in our journey. So we were just like, hey, try this gel, see if it'll work. I don't know if it will or not, but try it. She did the gel, ended up not having to have surgery, doesn't bother her anymore. And because of that, it was just like, well, if the gel worked so good for her, I wonder how the liquid would do. But then some of the other family members literally.
Me too.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So here's the thing. When your family comes over to the house and they look at you and they say, man, you look like you feel better than you've felt in years. And I say, I do. Well, what are you doing? Well, I've been taking this stuff that Stacey got.
The stuff.
And I never will forget my baby brother come in one day and he says, well, if I knew it'd make me feel half as good as you look like you feel, I'd try it. I said, you just got to try it. And his middle daughter, I never will forget this. She said, Daddy, he just glows.
The ASEA
So
glow.
we now have coined the term the ASEA glow.
Well, both of y'all definitely have it.
We can see the ASEA glow.
So it's just, we all know what we were going through, the different conditions they have. So it's like, once you saw, like for instance, Becky, oh my goodness, the other family members could not question the change in her.
Mm-hmm.
So of course they wanted to try it.
So we know that every body is different, and not everybody is going to respond as quickly as maybe you did. So talk to me about that and how maybe you've seen different people respond differently.
Well, for instance, like I said, mine was like 2.5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
This guy was.
Well, look, I started taking it, and I remember it was May the 22nd. No, June the 22nd of 19 was my first time to take it. And that night I rubbed the gel on my shoulders and my hands because they were hurting. Shoulders was always hurting because it's full of stress. You running 3 businesses and you're dealing with people, and it's a big thing. So I woke up the next morning and my hands didn't hurt. And I'm like, oh, that's just good. But I was taking the liquid and I kept taking it. And I told Stacey, I said, I don't feel anything. She says, it's working, keep taking it. And this process through 2 months, and about 2.5 months in, I tell this, my wife tells me I talk too much sometimes, but I was in the chicken pen and I was feeding the chickens, and my daughter and my daughter's 15, comes down the hill and she says, Daddy, you come walk with us. You need to be walking. And I said, I tried that. Y'all wear me out. And she says, no, you've been taking that stuff. And so I said, okay, y'all go ahead and I'll catch up. So I got on the golf cart, drove down to the pond, sat and waited for them to come around. And as they come around, I got out and started walking with them. And we're just walking and talking and walking and talking. And all of a sudden, before I knew it, I had made 4 loops. I still wasn't winded. And I'm like, this stuff works. That was my aha moment.
But I think too, like I said, I was very in tune with my body because I was always so sick that if I felt just a tiny bit, I was at the doctor's and I would, was testing positive, and they're like, I just knew. So for me to just have that little inkling of I was feeling better, I knew it. Some people are saying, that they noticed something, and we've had a couple that was just a few days, but then we've had some that we had to encourage to keep taking it. And then all of a sudden they were like, man, I'm sure glad you told me to keep taking it, because now, I woke up this morning and today I feel better today than I've felt in years. But if they would have stopped when they originally were like, I don't know if it's working, because everybody's different. How long did it take our bodies to get this way?
Exactly. And I think that's such a testament to both of y'all that, of course, Teddy trusted you, Stacey. I mean,
I wouldn't have took it if it wasn't for her.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and I think that's a lot of it is we trust the people that we purchase from. And that's just a great reminder to make sure that you do purchase this from a rep from ASEA, because number one, they can guide you, just like what Stacey's been doing with her family. They guide you and help you with the dosage. And since, Stacey, like I said, is very good with that. So I would definitely encourage others, if you are looking at this, to try this, make sure that you do purchase. Don't go online and purchase from somewhere and just have it shipped to you. You need someone like Stacey, like me, like Dr. Barbie, to help you as you move through your journey, to encourage you as well. We are almost out of time, and we so appreciate you spending some of your time, both of you. It's such a treat to have Teddy and Stacey, because I know how hard Teddy works. So I'm surprised he's still not out working, because it's still a lot.
I'll probably go back to work.
I told him he had to be here.
Well, and Teddy is so sweet. Of course he would. But is there anything else you'd like to leave us with? And Dr. Barbie, why don't you come back on if there's anything you want to ask them as well?
I guess the main thing is just to think to yourself, what if this helps me? And then, oh my gosh, it just changed my life. I can't help it. I just get so passionate about it. So.
Well, guys, we really appreciate you being here tonight. And one thing I might also mention is your passion actually worked into a business model for you guys too, which is really exciting. I don't know if you want to just touch on that for a moment.
Yeah, we've got to do some pretty cool things. I think I've probably traveled more in the last 4 years than I've traveled my entire life. Probably got to go some pretty cool places, meet great people like you. It's helping us out financially. But the people that we've got to meet, I like the tax write-offs. I think everybody needs a little side gig, helps with some taxes. And because like Teddy said, he has 3 businesses. I am a physical therapist assistant, and we've seen a difference when it comes to tax time. And I actually, I find it fun to try to come up with ways to write things off. So I think business wise, everybody needs a side gig. And if you're going to pick one, pick ASEA, because you're helping people with their health. Look, you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have your health,
It's amazing that you can get involved in this as a business, and you can touch people's lives that you have never met before, in countries you've never been. As we have, Stacey has people in Wales and Canada and Australia, and we've never been there. And the stories that go with that, we don't have time to tell tonight, but there is some good stories there.
Oh, that's wonderful, you guys. And thank you so much for spreading the message. And it's a great opportunity, like you said, to meet other people and help them have better health. But it's also good for people that are just wanting something to add to their health and wellness program that don't have issues, because we never know what it might be working on that could potentially be a problem later. So thank you guys so much. We're so appreciative of your time. And once again, we just want to thank everyone that's watching this video, and please share it with your friends and family. There's people that need to know this story from Teddy and Stacey tonight, and we would just love for you to forward that on. This will be posted on our YouTube channel for Creation Chiropractic, and if you have any questions, you can reach myself, Kathleen, or Stacey on Facebook, and we'll be happy to direct you in the right direction. So guys,
Thank you.
And in closing, we would just like to tell people that we are going to have another Zoom in 2 weeks on the 30th of May, and we'll have another special guest that we'll learn more about more real people and real stories and how redox has changed their life. Until then, God bless.
God bless.